Something's happening in the Steelers locker room, and if I were you, I'd keep an eye on it. A franchise legend just gave a bold opinion on the future of our most unpredictable position, and out of nowhere, a rookie nobody really believed in might get his chance. On top of that, Stephen A. Smith spoke out, strongly criticizing Rodgers, and if that wasn't enough, there are rumors of a major signing that might not be the improvement some people think, and the first one is already causing a stir. Let's be real. Ever since Big Ben hung up his cleats, the Steelers have been stuck in quarterback limbo. It's been a revolving door of maybe he's the guy experiments that never really clicked. So what did they do in 2025? They went out and brought in the headline maker himself, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. A move that shocked a lot of people, but it brought instant credibility and veteran leadership to a team that badly needed both. Rodgers didn't just show up for the paycheck. He balled out, kept the offense on track, and helped the team stay competitive. But then, Week 11 happened. Against the Bengals, Rodgers hurt his left wrist and had to sit the second half. Even though he wanted to keep going, the team pulled him out. Mason Rudolph stepped in, handled business, and helped Pittsburgh snag a 6-4 record on the year. Now here's where things get spicy. Ben Roethlisberger hopped on his Footballin' podcast and dropped a take that's got Steeler Nation buzzing. According to Big Ben, this Rodgers injury, and while nobody ever wants to see a guy go down, might actually be a blessing in disguise. Why? Because it opens the door for 6th round rookie Will Howard to finally show what he's got. You know what? The great news is that Will Howard is now available to come in, Ben said. You have him now as your backup. Steeler Nation should be excited. And he's not wrong. Howard's been riding the bench, mostly invisible up to this point, but Rodgers being out means Howard moves up in the depth chart, gets actual practice reps, maybe even some scout team work, and suddenly we're talking about live action experience for a kid most people wrote off in the draft. Roethlisberger's been a fan of Howard since day one. He even had him on the podcast after the Steelers drafted him, but Ben was honest. He didn't think Howard would get a legit shot this year unless something drastic happened. Well, guess what? This gives Steeler Nation a quick glimpse into what could be the future, Ben said. If nothing else, Will's gonna get real reps, and maybe this is a good thing for them. The ripple effect here is big. The Steelers were widely expected to chase a franchise QB in the 2026 NFL Draft. But if Howard shows even a flash of potential during practice, if he gives the coaches something to think about, that plan might get shelved, and Ben knows it. What is Aaron gonna do next year? Is he done? He asked. You just don't know. But this is Will's shot, and sometimes that's all it takes. Rodgers being hurt sucks, but for Will Howard, this is the shot of a lifetime, and if he makes the most of it, the Steelers' QB future could suddenly look a lot clearer than it did just a week ago. And if that wasn't enough, the second headline just dropped, and it's wild. One of the loudest voices in sports media just called out Aaron Rodgers in the most brutal way possible. Alright, buckle up. Things just got loud in the Steelers' QB room, and not from inside the locker room. We're talking ESPN, First Take, national TV. Stephen A. Smith lit the fuse and went off on Aaron Rodgers in a way only he can. Let's rewind for a sec. Week 11 against the Bengals, Rodgers bangs up his non-throwing wrist. Tried to play through it, wanted to come back out, but the Steelers shut him down for the second half, played it safe. Veteran guy, 41 years old, franchise investment, we get it. Mason Rudolph stepped in, did the job, and the Steelers walked away with the W. But now we're staring down week 12, and there's still no guarantee Rodgers will play. That uncertainty, it's driving the media nuts, especially Stephen A., who went scorched earth on Wednesday morning. And when I say scorched, I mean straight up fireball. Mason Rudolph, oh hell to the no, Smith said, eyes wide, voice booming. I don't want to see him. Yo, wrap that, Aaron Rodgers. It's your non-throwing hand. Wrap that bad boy in a hard cast and get your ass out on that field. Look, you don't have to agree with Stephen A. to admit the guy knows how to shake the room. And in his eyes, the Steelers need Rodgers out there, no matter what. From his perspective, Rudolph already had his chances in black and gold. And the last thing Pittsburgh needs is to hand over the wheel to a guy the fan base still isn't sold on. And honestly, that's the vibe a lot of fans are picking up too. People are nervous. Rodgers has been solid. Not MVP Rodgers, but still a massive upgrade. And the offense just looks different when he's under center. More confident, more sharp, more dangerous. The debate now is all over sports talk shows, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, you name it. Is Rodgers toughing it out for Week 12? Should he? Or should the team play it safe again? Maybe give Rudolph or rookie Will Howard a shot. The Steelers coaching staff is playing it close to the vest, but reports say Rodgers is pushing to return. They just want to make sure it doesn't get worse, because one bad fall on that wrist and the season could take a nasty turn. But that ain't stopping Stephen A. from demanding action. "I don't want to see Mason Rudolph," he repeated. "I've seen him. I know what he brings. I'm not interested. I want Rodgers. Period." Rudolph's Week 11 performance wasn't bad at all. 75% completions, 127 yards, a touchdown, protected the ball, extended the lead. But for guys like Stephen A., it's not about stats. It's about impact. Rodgers under center means hope. Rodgers on the sideline means question marks. Bottom line, the Rodgers situation just got real public, and now the pressure isn't just internal. The whole football world is watching to see if he suits up in Soldier Field against the Bears. Because if he doesn't and the offense sputters, you know who's going to be screaming, "I told you so" by Monday morning. And just when you thought the QB drama was the headline, a big name wide receiver hit the market. But trust me, this one might not be the upgrade people think it is. Brandon Cooks just hit the market. A 12-year vet with nearly 10,000 receiving yards and 60 touchdowns under his belt. Sounds like the kind of guy the Steelers should jump on, right? Nah, not this time. Look, Cooks used to be that dude. But right now, he's coming off a rough stint in New Orleans. 19 catches, 165 yards, 0 touchdowns in 10 games. And we're not talking about a rookie finding his way. This is a former first rounder who's already bounced around the league and is clearly on the decline. Matt Harmon from Yahoo put it bluntly. Cooks ranks dead last in targets per route and yards per route among any wideout with 250 plus routes this season. That's not just bad, look, that's stay away bad. And let's be honest here, do the Steelers really need another aging receiver fighting for targets? Calvin Austin III has more yards this season than Cooks, and he's younger, faster, and trending up. Roman Wilson, the rookie, is quietly heating up with 2 scores in his last 6 games. Why bring in a vet who might steal snaps from the guys who are actually growing into legit contributors? Even Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who hasn't even been elevated from the practice squad yet, probably fits this offense better. He's already got chemistry with Rodgers, and if the plan is to get Rodgers comfortable when he's healthy again, that connection could be way more useful than trying to squeeze something out of Cooks. Cooks is a big name, not a big solution. His best days are behind him, and forcing him into this offense now could slow down the progress we're finally starting to see from the young guns. Let someone else take that flyer. We've got bigger priorities. Howard's shot, Rodgers' wrist, and who really deserves a role in this offense. But what do you think? Drop your take in the comments. Hit that subscribe button and stay locked in. Steelers season's just getting started.